Hey, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Chastity. Here we talk about beauty, entertainment, celebrities, books, movies, anime, TV shows, and kind of anything else that garners my attention this week. But before we get into today's video, I am a part of Amazon's influencer program. So if you click the link in the pinned comment below, it'll take you over to my Amazon storefront where you can shop all of my favorite things. So if you want to do a little shopping while also supporting me, click the link in the pinned comment below. And today we are talking about the downfall of Netflix because this quarter was the first quarter in 10 years Netflix has ever lost subscribers, and they're projected to lose even more subscribers in quarter two. And I've seen a lot of people like theorizing and guessing why. Netflix is losing all of these subscribers, and I thought this would be a really fun video for us to like talk about and like theorize and figure out maybe why Netflix is, not doing as hot as they normally do. They're still doing good, but just not what you expect from a Netflix. Earlier this month, me and my family actually canceled our Netflix subscription. This was actually a long time coming because I think earlier this year they had said they were going to be raising their prices to $20, and that was supposed to be starting in April. So that kind of caused me and my family to really like sit with each other and ask like, is it worth keeping Netflix for $20-something? Like, were any of us actually using it? And we had all come to a realization that we really didn't watch Netflix. Like, I turned on Netflix when like they had an original show I want to watch, but like outside of that, I never like just turned Netflix on for there to be something on the background the way I did with the other streaming services we had. And my parents actually were using Tubi way more than they were using Netflix, so we decided to get rid of it and then replace it with HBO Max and Paramount Plus. Now, when it was announced that this was the first time in 10 years that Netflix was losing subscribers, a lot of people were blaming the fact that they were canceling live shows, and that was why Netflix was reaching its demise. I don't really think so. I think, like, yeah, canceling a lot of your favorite shows does play a small role in why Netflix isn't doing so great, but I think there are other factors, some even bigger than others, to kind of point to why a lot of people are leaving. Because I do think, like, the canceling of shows, the increasing of price, because the increasing of price kind of connects back to the shows, because you're making the price more expensive, but the quality of the shows we're getting and the shows that we have aren't so great. As well as them talking about trying to like stop people from sharing accounts. I think all of that plays a small factor in why people are leaving Netflix, but I do not think those are the outright reasons why so many people are leaving. Like, Netflix has been around for actually a very long time. They used to be a service where you could like order DVDs and they would send them to your home and stuff like that. So like, Netflix is not new as some people may believe. I feel like Netflix was like came out like late 90s, early 2000s, so they've been here for a while, but they really started picking up steam when they became a streaming service. And they became a streaming service at the perfect time, because at that moment people were pushing the cut the cord movement, trying to move away from cable TV because cable TV was getting extremely expensive. People were not feeling the prices, so they were looking for different alternatives, and that is where Netflix really started picking up steam. The appeal of Netflix was being able to watch all of your favorite network shows in one place for a low price. That was the appeal of Netflix. That's what everyone wanted Netflix. People went to Netflix to watch 30 Rock, to watch The Office, things like that. And like IPs that were super popular were all put on Netflix, and that's what people really enjoyed. I'm not going to pretend like Netflix original shows did not help bring some eyes to the streaming service. Orange is the New Black was a huge hit and success for Netflix. It brought a lot of eyes and attention to the streaming service. But what made people stay and subscribe were the IPs that were found on Netflix. Again, their favorite cable network shows were on Netflix at that time. Now, I'm gonna need you guys to walk with me here, because the biggest problem facing Netflix is other streaming services. Now, hold on. Right, walk with me here, because everything was fine for Netflix when we just had the big five. And the big five is Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, HBO Max, Disney Plus. Even though Disney Plus did hurt Netflix a little bit with taking all the Marvel shows, each streaming platform had its own thing, has its own niche, has its own fan base, so they were able to coexist at one time without really there being any problems. But the issue for Netflix arose when cable networks started making their own streaming platforms. Paramount Plus is the home for CBS's content, and it's more than just the network CBS. So it's CBS, BET, MTV, Nickelodeon, Comedy Central, I think also the Smithsonian, and as well as you can watch live news and sports all on the Paramount Plus app, as well as there's a lot of good original content on Paramount Plus. I particularly like the iCarly reboot and Why Women Murder, or Why Women Kill. I'm sorry. I've seen the first 2 seasons. It's been a minute. Paramount Plus offers you a lot of content for half of Netflix's price. Peacock is the home to NBC's content, which actually goes back decades. So there's a lot of content there if you want to rewatch nostalgic shows or watch shows that maybe you didn't get a chance to watch when they were on air. As well as Peacock has a lot of actual good original content. I don't think anybody was expecting Bel-Air to be as good as it was, but it was fucking fantastic and everyone loved it. And don't worry, Bel-Air is for fat getting a season 2. I think season 2 was announced like when the first episode dropped. Like, you're fine, you're getting a season 2 of Bel-Air. But there's a lot of good content on Peacock, as well as the ability to watch live news and watch live cable network on the Peacock app. So now all of these networks have given their popular shows to Netflix, and now they're sitting back and watching Netflix rake in millions of dollars for their shows that they put money into and they produced. And these networks have decided no more, and they've decided to dip their toe in the streaming service pool and create their own platforms. But in order to do that, they have to snatch back their shows from Netflix. And that is a big problem for Netflix. The appeal of Netflix has never been the original content. Now, the original content may have piqued your interest enough to go look at it, but what made you get it and stay there were the IPs Netflix had and the ability to rewatch some of your favorite network shows. Netflix's own original content can be very hit or miss. When they're good, they're great, but when they're bad, they're abysmal. Stinky, nasty garbage when a Netflix show is actually bad and it's horrible. As well as you getting attached to these shows and they get canceled after 2 seasons. And if you're lucky for your show not to get canceled, it's probably not going to go past season 4. There are outliers to the season 4 rule, but from what I've learned from on my blog, after about season 3, the cast can renegotiate their contracts and be asked to get paid more, which is why a lot of Netflix shows now don't usually go past season 4. There's outliers, but it is very normal for season 4 to be the last season for a Netflix show. So you have a streaming service that no longer has its original appeal and a bunch of okay at best shows, some really good, but they're canceled, and ones that are bad continue to keep getting seasons. And what is there to keep you there at that point? It's like with the cost increase, it's causing users to really sit and look at their finances and be like, is 20 something dollars of Netflix actually worth it? And a lot of people are saying that's not, because all of the shows they came from Netflix for, again, if they're original shows, they have been canceled. If they're IPs, they've moved on to different streaming platforms. So there's really nothing keeping people to Netflix because it's sure not the original content. So now you have to decide with your money. You stick with Netflix for $20, but it's a whole lot of mid. Or you can do something with like Hulu where you can do bundles or you can do add-ons. So like you can connect your Hulu to Disney Plus and ESPN, and that together is still just as much as Netflix, but you're getting 3 streaming platforms instead of 1. Or you could do what we did and we connected our Hulu to our HBO Max. And those 2 streaming services together cost as much as Netflix is by itself. Like, it's just like, it doesn't make sense to some people to keep Netflix, because then you do the bundles that you can do with Hulu, and then you can get Paramount Plus and you can get Peacock, and those two together are still cheaper than Netflix. So, like, the other options are cheaper and they have better content. And because everyone is coming out with their own streaming platform, and now consumers are suffering because very quickly these streaming platforms can add up to $100. And that's a lot just to stream content. That's fucking insane. So people are having to pick and choose what they really want. And when it's coming down to it, a lot of people no longer see the value in Netflix, especially for this price. It doesn't make sense with what we're getting for the cost. All this money, but we're not getting better shows. And if we do get better shows, they get canceled. But yeah, that's it for me. What are you guys' thoughts and opinions on this whole situation? Do you think that Netflix is going to suffer more as more networks make their own streaming services? Do you guys believe that like Netflix is going to be just fine? Have you yourself like gotten rid of Netflix and replaced them with other streaming platforms? Are you sticking beside Netflix through thick and thin? What are your guys' opinions on the whole situation? But yeah, that's it for me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.